Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all orientations and sexualities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today's review is the Caves of Androzani. Yes, we are at the penultimate episode of the Fifth Doctor's era, so without further ado, let's jump straight into the review. The Doctor and his newfound friend Peri find themselves between a conflict on the planet Androzani Minor and the planet Androzani Major. The Doctor finds himself caught between an army and a terrorist. As they approach the planet, they are almost executed, but saved by a man named Sharazek Jek, who has created androids so that he can survive on the planet and outthink the attacking force who are coming after him. As the story progresses, Sharazek Jek explains to the Doctor that the reason he is so angry at the government and the officials on Androzani Major is because during a run in the past of him doing a military operation, he gets caught in the crossfire and is exposed to some deadly gases which begin to deform his appearance. This is why he has chosen to wear a mask, not to disguise his features for mysterious reasons, but on the purpose that he is too afraid to look at his own reflection, and that he finds himself absolutely repulsive. When he comes across Peri, he finds a common ground. He finally finds someone that he finds very appealing, and so he tries to persuade Peri to be on his side, and throughout the story gets closer and closer to her. But when she rejects him for his own appearance, he goes back to reliving the trauma of the exact problem which has plagued him throughout the whole story, and yet before. But as the war progresses, it proves not to be the only problem that the Doctor and Peri face on the planet. The Doctor and Peri begin to get itching and rashes, but unknown to them, it is a deadly disease which is slowly eating away at their nervous system and killing them, slowly but surely. The Doctor confides in one of the soldiers who he previously believed to be an android, and now the soldier tells him that he is slowly dying and he only has 2 days to live. The Doctor, very agitated by this factor, decides to confront the soldier and ask him if there is a cure to this disease. The soldier points out to him that there is a cure, but to get the cure, he must go down to the depths of the mines below, which not many people have ever survived, and the fact that there isn't any oxygen down there. But the Doctor, determined to escape him and his companion's fate of death, decides to go down into the mine and find the cure. But in doing so, he gets caught up in a rabble and almost gets taken to Androzani Minor by a bunch of rebel soldiers who are working for Sharazek for the antidote serum of the de-aging solution that Jek is keeping from Androzani Major. As the ship he's on sets course for Androzani Major, the Doctor begins to break out of his restraints. In doing so, he then jumps on the console and locks the door to the side cabin of the ship, which the pirates that have stolen him away are currently situated in. The Doctor begins to meddle around with the controls and sends them back to Androzani Minor. In doing so, the Doctor ends up getting very agitated and yells at the crew who threaten to kill him, pointing out to them that he is so frustrated with his situation that he doesn't care if he dies in order to crash the ship and return back to Androzani Minor to save Peri's life. The ship pirates believe him to be very foolish, and so they constantly attempt to chase after him when they get back down on the planet's surface. But soon they lose the trail of the Doctor, and a secondary party go to look for Sergeant Jack in order to finally find the mineral they've been looking for this whole time. But when they do arrive, Jack is weak and powerless, and his whole operation begins to go up in flames. The Doctor manages to grab Peri and release her from her entombment and returns back to the TARDIS. But in doing so, he risks his own life. Once in the TARDIS, the Doctor begins to give Peri a dose of the bat milk. But sadly for him, there isn't enough to share. So he saves Peri's life and risks his own. This causes and triggers a regeneration in his cells. And soon the Doctor begins to regenerate. Pete Davidson becomes Colin Baker. And so begins the next cycle of a new era. The Fifth Doctor is now the Sixth Doctor. And so, all I have to say is bring on the rainbow. So now for the moment you've all been waiting for. The Caves of Androzani. Good or bad episode? Well, it's very good. It's an interesting and very overwrapped episode. It has two plots. One about cyborgs and robots and a deformed terrorist, and the other about the struggle of government and how it can easily be manipulated by one party or another. Throughout the course of the story, we learn that a president has basically been murdered in order to help someone else's political views. We also find out that the runners and the army are constantly playing war with themselves, and one party believes they're stronger than the other. Soon, that party begins to erode, and that's what I thought was quite brilliant about this story, is that it really does show how the tables can be turned. So for that reason, I give Caves of Androzani a 9 out of 10. Solid story, great arc, and also just a great introduction for Colin Baker's Doctor to be introduced in a story where Peter Davidson's character really has to fight to stay alive. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you in another Doctor Who review, and until then, stay beautiful. Goodbye.